Hello everybody, I'm Elisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about everything you guys want to know about being a military wife or girlfriend. I filmed one of these videos back when I was still a girlfriend and I really didn't know a lot of things that I do know now. I mean, I knew the gist of being a military girlfriend, but I didn't know like what else to expect moving forward because I was still a girlfriend and now I'm a wife. So today we're just going to be talking about military things and what it's like being a wife with a husband in the army, or the experiences leading up to that. So without further ado, let's just get on into the video. So I have everything written down, so if I'm looking down, I'm just looking at the notes because I have a lot of things written. If I miss anything, feel free to comment down below or send me a DM on Instagram. I know that's how a lot of people get a hold of me when they need someone to talk to about this kind of thing. So yeah, feel free to do that if you guys have any questions that I didn't answer in this video. So I'm just gonna go in order from when my boyfriend at the time, first told me that he was joining. So we were out of high school for, I want to say it was like almost a year, something like that. But we were out of high school, we were college age. I was a college student, he wasn't in college yet because he was still deciding what he wanted to do. He actually went to orientation for college and everything, but decided that wasn't for him. So instead he decided that he was going to join the army, and that was the right path for him to take. So when he first told me, you can see in my old video when I was a girlfriend, when I was his girlfriend, that I was really upset. And yes, that is the truth. I was upset, I was sad, and I was really selfish. And looking back, I said this in that video as well, looking back, I wish I had been more supportive. So when they tell you that they want to join the army, the military, whatever branch they want to join, be supportive because they trust you, they love you, and they want you to be supportive of their decisions and what they want to do with their life. So just be supportive. It's a huge decision for them to make, and it's a difficult decision for them to make because they're not just, you know, leaving you, they're leaving their entire family, their entire, like all of their friends, and they're going out of their comfort zone and doing something new. So they need your support for that and encouragement and all those things. So be supportive. But when they tell you, it is important to prioritize having a serious conversation with them. A lot of people who reach out to me are still in high school when they tell me that their boyfriends or significant others are leaving for the military. It's young, and I was young. My husband was young when he decided that he was going to join the army. So it's important to have this conversation with them. You know, are you guys serious about your relationship? Do you see a future with your significant other? And do they see a future with you? And make sure you're on the same page about that, because if you're not, if you guys don't see each other in your guys' futures, then maybe it's not a good idea to keep the relationship going. But if you guys are on the same page about that and are very serious about keeping your relationship strong and going through with the long distance, then it's important to set boundaries and talk about all of these things, and because it's going to be hard. So you guys have to talk about it all. You guys have to make sure that you understand that it's going to be hard. Long distance is not easy, and you guys both have to be willing to put effort into the relationship so that it can work. Long distance will work as long as both of you want it to work. If one person wants it to work and the other isn't putting as much effort into it, it's very difficult to keep going with that relationship and most likely won't work. So both of you have to be on the same page with your relationship in order for a long distance relationship to work. So definitely talk about that with each other before continuing on with your relationship. The next thing is your time with them while they're still here before they leave for basic training or whatever it is that they're leaving for is very precious, but they also have to share it with their family and their friends, because their family and friends are also going to miss them. And so you have to either hang out all together, split your time. It will be hard because I know a lot of people want to hang out with that person who's leaving. So just try to make it as stress-free as possible for the person who's leaving, because it's stressful for them trying to hang out with so many people before they leave. I know it'll be hard, but if you both want it to work, it'll work, and it's so worth it in the end. But yeah, so their time is precious. Make sure to hang out with them as much as possible, but also leave time for others to hang out with them as well. When they leave, or while they're gone, it's going to be sad and it's going to be hard, like really hard. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. It's a normal feeling. Someone you love is like not going to be with you every day. You're not going to be able to talk to them. You don't even know how they're doing because obviously they can't have their phones in basic training. So it will be hard, but at least try not to be sad for too long, because this is your time to work on yourself and to better yourself. It's your time to grow as an individual. So I know I had a lot of growing to do as an individual, so I legitimately it's not even a word. I journaled, I started exercising, taking daily walks for like some fresh air, making my relationships with family and friends stronger and hanging out with them. It's important to keep yourself busy so that you're not constantly thinking about them and missing them and being sad. It's okay to miss them, obviously, but it's not okay to miss them to the point where you're sad all the time and not doing anything to benefit you in the future. So take that time to work on yourself, grow closer. I took the time to grow closer to God, and I journaled more, like I said, and I did my devotions a lot more. And so just work on yourself, do the things that you've been wanting to do that you haven't done. Like learn an instrument, or start reading more books, or start that small business that you've always wanted to start, or just start that hobby or that thing that you've always wanted to start that you haven't yet. Now is the time to try new things, to be yourself, to learn and grow and find who you are individually, because a lot of people say before you get married, find yourself, make sure you know who you are before you get married. And I think it's a good idea to do that, but I also think it's okay if you are in a relationship and still trying to find yourself and learn who you are, because you can do that with your partner. Neither of those options are the wrong or right answer. It's really just personal experience and what works for you. So everybody goes through life differently. Everybody grows differently throughout life. Some people, like I said, like I'm still growing, I'm still finding out who I am, but I'm doing it with my husband, and I wouldn't change that for the world because that's what works for us. But some other people may, want to find themselves by themselves, if that makes sense. So now is the time to personally grow and use that time wisely. A lot of questions were, how often do you hear from them when they are in basic training? And it'll be a few days or even weeks until you get their address. So as soon as you get their address, make sure to write them. Writing them is very important to let them know that you're still supporting them, you still care for them, and it encourages them to keep pushing through, because it is hard for them. My husband, the first couple days or weeks of basic training, he cried. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people that, but he did cry. He thought it was a big mistake that he went, but once they get past that first few weeks, I think it's a week actually, it gets better from there, and he actually had fun at basic training. So although it can be hard for them, it's fun as well for them. So keep encouraging them and be supportive of them, and write them, tell them you're proud of them. Another question was, what pictures can you send them? Any like selfies, pictures of you two together, family pictures, things like that. Just don't do inappropriate pictures, like I said in my last video, because I don't know what happens if that happens. Maybe they get in trouble, I don't know. I didn't do it, so I have no idea what would happen, but don't do that. So anyway, so just appropriate pictures, because it's hard not being able to see your loved one. So pictures and letters are good for them. I sent my husband a letter every single day, and I numbered them so that they were in order, because a lot of the times letters get lost. They don't deliver all the letters at the same time, so he would have the order of the letters, but I did write him every day, and you don't have to, but that's just what I did. But also, if you do write them every day, just know that they don't get their letters every day. They get them like maybe once a week, and it might be like a batch full of letters, because if you're writing them every day, obviously they're gonna have a lot, but they probably won't be able to write you every single day either. So just keep that in mind. They are writing you. It's slower for them because they are doing stuff and they barely have enough time to do things for themselves. So graduation is the next thing. I personally did not go to my husband's graduation, and right now because of COVID, I am not sure how they're doing it, but my husband went before COVID started, but I still wasn't able to go to his graduation because plane tickets can be expensive. So, and had I gone, I would have only been able to spend literally a day with him, because they have like I'm pretty sure they have like something called a family day. I want to say it's a few hours where they get to hang out with their family after graduation. Might be before graduation, I'm not sure, but my husband's family went, they hung out with him, and it worked out for the best. So they had all the time they had with him. I think they were only able to see him for like a day before he had to leave to AIT, which was in a different state. So he had to get on a plane that night and then fly to Texas, because his AIT was in Texas. So yeah, I didn't go to his graduation. You are free to go unless COVID says otherwise. I actually don't think they're doing ceremonies right now for graduation, for basic training graduation, because of COVID. So I don't know how that works, but anyway, so that was just my personal experience. I did not go see him for graduation. Another question was, how long are they gone for? Now this typically depends on how long their contract is and what their job is. My husband's contract was 3 years and 9 months, so the 9 months was basic training in AIT, and then 3 years here where his duty station is at. So that's his contract. Also, again, if they re-enlist, it might be longer. Well, it will be longer if they re-enlist. So everyone's contract, it varies. It could be anywhere from 3 years to 6 years, I'm pretty sure. It might be longer. How often can they talk during AIT? This also depends on their rules, because my husband's AIT was, I want to say it was like 6 months long. I think it was like 6 or 7 months long, so he was able to have his phone back. My husband did say that some AITs are so short that they don't get their phone backs at all after basic training. So again, this depends on what they're doing. So if they do get their phone backs, they can talk pretty much whenever they're available. They can't take their phones during class. They leave their phones in their rooms. They have roommates and everything. So pretty much in the evenings. You also have to think about the time difference, because I was in California, my husband was in Texas, so I think it was a 2-hour time difference. So he was going to bed a lot earlier than I was, and so you know, the time difference was kind of difficult to talk to my boyfriend at the time. So I would suggest making a schedule. If you do want to prioritize talking to your significant other, talk to them and make sure you guys both know what the schedule is. But you also have to understand that they're in the Army and you're not their #1 priority. So if you make a schedule where you're talking from 4 to 5 p.m. and their NCO wants them to do something for him, not for him specifically, but they need him to do something, they have to do that. There's no going around it. They have to obey their orders. And so you have to understand that you're not their #1 priority. They're going to prioritize their job first, because well, that's what they signed up to do. So so just make a schedule, and most of the time you guys will probably be able to stick to that schedule. It's not going to be all the time that they have to do something while they promise to talk to you. So okay, when it comes to visitation, you are able to visit them while they're in AIT, but I don't think they're able to visit you, because they don't have, I don't think they have leave days yet, or they're not allowed to take leave during training unless it's a holiday block. If they're in AIT and Christmas is coming up, I'm pretty sure they'll allow them to go home for Christmas, because it's a big major holiday. But if it's not during any major holiday, they won't be able to come visit you. but you, I'm pretty sure, can come visit them. They just have to fill out like a packet or something like for visitors, because I don't think they're allowed to leave base either. So there's that. But pretty much whenever, if you live close, you could probably drive up every weekend. If not, then probably won't be able to visit them that often, because again, I wasn't. I only visited his whole time in AIT. I only visited him once. Anyway, there's that. Also, COVID hit, which is another factor into not being able to see him a ton. So whoa, my chair broke. When it comes to their duty station, my husband didn't know, I don't know if this is for everyone, but my husband didn't know where he was going to be stationed at after AIT until, I want to say, towards the end of AIT. So we didn't know where he was going to go. We didn't know if he was going to be in the country still or out of the country still, because he could have been stationed who knows where. But luckily he got stationed still in the US, farther from where I was originally, but doesn't matter anyway because we're married now. So anyway, but when they do get to their duty station, where they're going to be working for the rest of their contract, they have so much more freedom. Still not like all of their freedom, but they have way more than they did when they were in AIT, having to walk with battle buddies and constant formations and things like that. So when they are at their duty station, when they're still single, not married yet, they get a room in the barracks, and they have occasional room inspections, occasional car inspections, things like that, just to make sure nobody has drugs or whatever. So it's still not 100% freedom, but it's more freedom than they did before. When you get married, especially now that we're married, they have pretty much a lot more freedom. I want to say they have like 95% freedom. So they don't do house inspections because we live off base and we're married now, so it's way better. I think my husband still does car inspections though, every once in a while. I don't remember. But yeah, so a lot more freedom when you're married. Staff duty is another thing that I didn't know was going to happen when I first got married. So staff duty is basically just like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure all bases do this, I have no idea, but they have to stay overnight to make sure everything's in check and in order and everyone's okay. So the soldiers take turns doing staff duty, so it's like one at a time. So my husband actually just had that a few weeks ago, I think. And so I was here home alone all night, which I don't want to sound too happy about it, but it was kind of nice because I got the whole bed to myself, because I usually spread out anyway. But I did miss him. You're still able to talk to them while they're at staff duty, but it is an overnight graveyard type shift thing that they have to do every once in a while. Another question I got was, my boyfriend doesn't tell me what he does in the Army. Why can't they tell me? Depending on their job, some things are classified and they're not allowed to tell you, and that's something that I have to live with. My husband is not allowed to tell me what he does, so I don't know what he does, and honestly it isn't that bad because he doesn't bring work home with him. You know, some people have a bad day at work, which sometimes my husband doesn't even like to tell me what he does at work anyway, but most of the time he'll just say, oh, it was good, oh, it was kind of annoying today, or whatever. But that's pretty much all he can tell me. And it's not bad. At the beginning, I still joke around with him every once in a while, like, oh, what do you do, blah, blah, like ask him, which he's never going to tell me, and I am okay with that. I know that he's not allowed, and he, like, ever, even when he's out of the Army, he can't ever tell me. So yeah, so sometimes they can't tell you what they do, and so it's fine, it's normal. But yeah, the last thing I want to talk about is, for those of you who have reached out to me, or for those of you who are watching and are still in high school or very young like me. I still am young, I'm literally only 20. For those of you still in high school and are still in the boyfriend-girlfriend stage with your significant other who wants to join the Army or military, there has to be a certain level of maturity for marriage. Everybody, again, grows at a different pace. This was just the right path for me and my husband to go through because we felt like it was the right thing for us to do. We felt ready. We knew 100% that we were ready that we wanted to marry each other. So we decided to get married. And again, this isn't the right option for some people, and it is for others. Everybody goes through life differently. Everybody grows at a different pace, like I said before. Just make sure you guys talk about all the pros and cons before making any big major life decisions. There's so many things to consider when talking about marriage. You just have to be ready, mentally, emotionally ready for marriage. So with that being said, again, if you're a girlfriend now and you are still in high school, or you're just fresh out of high school, please make sure to have a serious conversation with your significant other and make sure you're both on the same page. I cannot stress it enough. If you guys are both equally willing to put effort into the relationship, then go for it. It's worth it in the end. Long distance will be so hard, but it will be worth it in the end if you guys know that you guys are wanting to get married and that you guys want to spend the rest of your life together, because marriage is a huge commitment and there's so much that goes into marriage, and it's a huge life decision. So just please make sure that you both understand that and you're both willing to take on the challenge, I guess. If the love is there, and if you guys are both committed to each other, then it should be easier. Not easy, okay? It should be easier. I don't know what else I can say to make sure you guys understand that, you know, it's important to have that conversation with your significant other. And it's important to have that level of maturity before you make any decisions that can change your life forever. I'm so happy with the decision me and my husband made. I love him dearly. I adore him. And I'm so happy and so grateful and blessed that I was able to marry him and that he was able to marry me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got something out of it. If you guys have any other questions or need anyone to talk to about this kind of thing, please let me know. Don't hesitate to reach out. I would be so happy to talk to you and to help you through whatever it is you're going through. And yeah, I am so happy you're here and that you're still watching this, because it is a pretty long video, but I think I will end it here so I don't keep rambling on. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more lifestyle videos and other fun things. I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye.